We're back with another year with the Vintage Computer Festival Midwest. This is Vintage Computer Festival Midwest 18, about a week after I am recording. We left about 9:30. The show started at 9 in the morning, but we drove from home to the computer show. It's about a 45-minute to an hour drive from where we live in Illinois, not too far from where the show actually is. It was a pretty nice trip drive down, not too long, but the show this year was pretty nice. It was actually pretty big. Compared to previous years, it was huge. This year we actually had trouble finding parking, so we spent a lot of time driving around just to find a parking spot, and that was at the show this year. Many years ago, it was like crowded. You still had to park. You couldn't park in the building parking lot. You could, but you really didn't. You parked outside of the building most likely. This year, it was huge. There was a lot of people there. In fact, this year was the first year they had stuff outside. They had the free section outside, and they had a few other vendors outside. But it was huge. In fact, this year they had the all the conferences in the basement instead of in the other conference room. So there are 3 set conference built rooms. One is where they have all the talks, and then there are other 2 with the computers. This year, all 3 of the rooms on the first floor, as well as the floor, were filled, and so they had the conferences downstairs as well. We'll look at this later. There was actually a soldering station where you would solder. You could solder a kit. We're gonna see in a minute or so that. In the end of the video, I'll show you everything that I got at VCF this year. In total, it was a pretty nice show this year. I don't have any videos from the floor. Most of the videos I took were just us driving there. I didn't get any videos inside. Next year, it'll be a little different than this year. Usually we do, we just drive. Next year we're considering staying in the hotel where they have it. That's what we're planning on doing. But it was a drive down there. It wasn't too bad, not much traffic. But the show was pretty nice this year, and this year it was pretty big, and there was a lot of nice stuff there, a lot of great people there. But yeah, it was huge this year. There were a lot of people. In fact, I usually like to go to the YouTube thing, the YouTube talk, but this year it was just filled to the brim with people. In fact, there was really no standing room because they already had like everyone standing all around the building, and all the chairs were pretty much taken. I mean, there might have been 1 or 2 actually open, but you know, it was packed. But we got there, and we were still, like, there were a lot of people. And you can see that because we're actually about to turn into where the hotel is. And so right about here is where you turn, and when we turn, you'll see there were a lot of people. You know, we parked down the road, on the road, right there, by the storage place right there. We had parked there last year, but as you see, it was filled, and there were a whole ton of people. And eventually we did find parking, but there was a lot of people there, and it was just huge this year. You'll also notice a lot of people who drive the station wagons there. Here's the entrance into the event center at the hotel, and as you see, there are people outside. And I actually have a second clip from back by where our car was, and I actually so here it is. And there's the center. You can see people running out to their cars to grab their fines and put them in the car or just leaving. But yeah, you'll see there are a lot of people there. Not a lot of people outside, at least there. But you'll see that it was filled. The parking lot was filled. They had people actually selling in their cars. They had people selling stuff in their cars. You'll see in a minute that there's the station wagon, and we're pretty sure that's one of the event runners after that blue Ford. But you'll see that the station wagon in front of there right there, it's the wood, it's a Ford. It has the Vintage Computer Festival Midwest, so I'm pretty sure that's the guy who runs the show. But there's the center, and there's the inn. So see, there's a bunch of people out in front, and they are selling stuff, and that was out front too. But you'll see this is a big place. And then I told you we had the soldering stuff. I did this. I am not an expert, but I did it pretty well. It was pretty fun, pretty interesting. I actually have a kit I have at home, so I have to try it sometime. This is just a little video I took. Didn't have much to do to record. Next year, of course, I'm thinking I'll have a much better time with recording. Because I'll actually be at the hotel, most likely. But yeah, this was packed, but this was right by the cafe.
We're back from VCF. We're gonna take a look at everything we have. So let's start off with... So most of the stuff was free, by the way. Some of it was paid, but some of it was in the free section, which is in the back, and was outside this year. I'm not gonna talk about what everything was, but I'll just give a little mention. This, of course, was in the free section. It's just a little home security keypad. Thought it was really cool. Not really anything important, but just thought it was really cool. Oh, also I'll talk about the lanyard for a second. This year had a really cool lanyard. It's nice and thick. I can show you what the ones from years before looked like, but I also had this little soldering kit they had. It's a little hard to see, but it lights up because there are no batteries in it. That would explain why it wasn't working. All the batteries fell out when I got home because it fell on the ground. It does still work. Lights up, RGB, and I soldered it myself. So put that goes up, and it has a little button on there from one of the tables. Next, we've got a few different phones. These were all outside. This is a BlackBerry. I think they're all AT&T phones, but we'll just say this is a BlackBerry, and it doesn't have the slide keyboard, but it has a keyboard. Really cool. We have an AT&T Samsung Windows phone. We'll have to take a look at this. I have another Windows phone for more about the Windows 8 era from T-Mobile, so this will be something cool to talk about at some point. Next, we have an iPhone 3G, not the 3GS. I used to have a 3GS, but this is just a 3G. I'm pretty sure it's dead. I did charge it a little bit on the ride home. I also will talk about something else. And then another one that came as a set of 4 is a Samsung little rugged flip phone. Shouldn't really show you that number, should I? It's not mine, but next we got this little free box. It was in the free section. It's some little Linux box. I don't know much about it. Really cool. Next, we got this phone. This was in the free section. And I have this little plug. Not important. But, yeah. So, it's a little phone. It's more one of those that you would, see in, a grocery store or something like that. But, yeah, really cool. Don't really know much I can do with it, but it was in the free section, so I thought, hey, why not? Here is a Keytronics keyboard. I actually had a few Keytronics keyboards, but this one's a little fancy. It's got the sticker. It says lifetime. It's a little dirty, but we'll get it cleaned sometime. Next, we have this ergonomic Microsoft keyboard. I've actually got a black modern version of this, but I wanted something that would match the mouse I have. I have a Microsoft PS2 mouse, and I wanted another PS2 keyboard, so I eventually got two of those, and I lost one of them, but not that I at this show, but I had. This is a microphone. I've got another one at home, but this one is just a sort of like flexible mic. I think this is rather cool. I have something I do with microphones, so that'll be cool. Next is this really cool one, and I'll talk about, I actually got two things, but this is really cool. It's a convertible phone, so it's a phone and it's a tablet. It's another AT&T one, so I'm hoping that one day I can connect this up to my phone network and get this to work, which would be really cool. This one of my favorite, is I don't know, I'm trying to get this to charge. I'll work on it in a minute, but this says Rivers Casino, so I'm assuming this was at some point used at Rivers Casino. But I got it signed by Crazy Ken, LGR, and Ben Heck, and the 8-Bit Guy. So, really cool. It's one of the older iPads. I used to have one that was black, so I don't know if this is like the exact model, but I had one just like this. So really cool. Next we have this Franklin spelling ace. My mom saw this and she had one just like this, so it's sort of like a speak and spell, but it's not, so really cool. Yeah. Next we have this MacBook Air. This was one thing I saw outside, was one of the last things, and it was one of the last things I saw. It's a MacBook Air. While we're on the subjects of Macs, never mind, it's buried under stuff. This is a little Logitech webcam. I don't really know how well this will work, but let's just assume this is going to work really well. I've got a computer downstairs, so hopefully this will work for it. If not, I know I'll have some use for it. Unimportant, Canon charger. I found this with a adding machine. They had an adding machine, and I've got that exact adding machine, so I don't need the adding machine itself. I just need this adapter. It didn't come with one, but I like to run it off batteries, but an adapter is really cool. While we're on the subjects of Macs, we really weren't. This one actually had a sticker on it, so it's a little girl sending off the balloon, which is on the Apple logo. So hopefully I can get rid of that. If not, doesn't really matter to me, because I don't plan on using this thing much. I just really saw this and it was free, so I'm hoping it'll work in free MacBook. This is a MacBook Pro, so it's a really big Mac. I don't know if I can show that really well, but let's just throw a MacBook Air. I'm gonna get this thing to run Lion, hopefully. Just for reasons I can't really explain. I got Lion to run on the other Mac, which I was gonna make a video about, but that video turned out really sucky. So fun. But yeah, so MacBook Pro, it's missing the M key, but free missing an M key and hopefully works and doesn't explode is hopefully what I'm hoping for. And then I got this disgusting cord. Really, I don't know what I got this for, just because to see if it would work. The plug here looks disgusting now that I see it. Really disgusting. You don't know I'm touching it. But I'll clean everything up, so if you think I'm gonna catch like some disgusting bacterial. But now we've got a bunch of box stuff. So both of these like printer things are unopened. The Galaxy Note is maybe unopened, and that's pretty new, but the box is a little damaged. So this is a Canon printer. I really want, just saw printer, thought it was really cool. It was free, so why wouldn't you want a free printer? This is a scanner, so free scanner as well. I don't know why, but it should cover that up. But it's some company. I don't know where it is. It says Ann Arbor, so it's coming from Michigan or somewhere. So really cool, really cool. Next, we got this camera. It's I honestly don't know, and it's meant for Windows, so Windows XP. This goes up to like Windows XP. Luckily, I've got that XP machine, which has turned out to be really useful and one of the best buys I made last year. And then we have the Samsung Galaxy Note, which was $55. Was it worth that $55? No, not really. I think that was a lot. They had two. It was like a Note and a Tab, but I just thought that the Note was cooler. I don't know. It's got a little stylus. The stylus won me over, so I can like write stuff. But otherwise, I don't know why. I was gonna get a laptop, and I actually went up to the woman, and it was like $20. Like $20 for a laptop. It was a netbook, so not the best. But I was like, okay, yeah, here, I'll love to get it, and that was with the Tab. And she was like, oh, well, you know, it doesn't have a charger. I'm like, well, why are you selling me one if it doesn't have a charger? Like, well, yeah, I get selling it without a charger, but like, I'm gonna spend like $20 more just to find a charger. Which, you know, isn't, you know, shouldn't be a problem, but it is a problem to me. So, whatever. Each of these is gonna get like their own video as I like talk about them. Some of these have importance to me, others of them mean jack to me. So, but yeah. So stay tuned for more. This is whatever's left of VCF. So, the printers, the scanner and printer are not going to be really talked about until later. We're going to have painters come out, and so the wall is going to be painted. You see this blue wall? Yeah, this is the closet. Not because I'm like LGR, who has wood grain everything. I'm not that. But, yeah, so blue wall, it's going to be like a little darker blue, so that it'll be painted by the next video. So, see you in the next one. This is the end for VCF.